Member from Halliburton, Kawartha Lakes Brock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Natural Resources. The MNR recently made changes to the Endangered Species Act, which streamlined a number of provisions in the permitting process. That is why I was surprised to read the EBR posting for woodland caribou, yet another job-killing posting for Northern Ontario. It's very clear from the proposals in this posting that the socio-economic analysis was never done to determine the impact which they would have on a northern municipalities, forestry, and a wide range of stakeholders. So would the minister explain why these critical factors have not been taken into account before your ministry decided to kill more jobs?
Thank you. Minister of Natural Resources.
Thank you, Speaker. And the member opposite knows full well that the government's position on this has been one of finding a balance to ensure that jobs in Northern Ontario and throughout the province would be able to continue to thrive. I categorically reject the assertion that this is somehow outside of the regular process. The member introduced the private member's bill some time ago to, in fact, gut the legislation, which is not something on this side of the House that we're prepared to do. We wanted to find the balance. We've struck the appropriate balance. We formed a committee. We had ample input from countless stakeholders. And what I can tell you, Speaker, is that the various groups and organizations are very supportive of the changes we made. Tom Logren said the proposed regulations provide some of the much-needed balance in the implementation of ESA in the forestry industry. Russ Powers, the Association of Municipalities, he said the streamlined approach balances protecting endangered species with other priorities.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I categorically reject that you care about jobs. Your ministry has failed to perform a socio-economic analysis, which my party would make mandatory. Some of those municipalities who will be impacted are doing their own analysis. And in an August 13th letter to the Premier and to you, the town of Cochrane provides a detailed analysis of the impact which these proposals would have on the Abitibi River forest. MNR proposals would require sacrificing half of the entire forest volume, which would be catastrophic. The impact on communities from North Bay to Hearst would be a loss of another 8,000 jobs, $433 million in lost wages, and a loss of $273 million in lost taxes for the municipalities. Minister, will you show that you care about the North and its people and withdraw these proposals?
Speaker, the member opposite does.
Be seated, please. Be seated. We need quiet. I mean it. The member from Durham, come to order. And you're not supposed to be talking, Minister responsible for seniors. Answer, please.
Thank you, Speaker. The member opposite knows, and she's referencing plan from Cochrane, Mayor Politis, who's the Conservative candidate, so I take that with a grain of salt. But what I will say, Speaker, is that Jamie Lim, the president of the OFIA, here's what the forestry sector says, Speaker. Key component of the proposed legislation is a recognition by the government that forestry activities already provide for the protection of species at risk with regard to the Crown Forest Sustainability Act. She says, while also ensuring that economic development activities such as forestry will be allowed to proceed without unnecessary impacts. It's quite clear that the forestry industry supports the changes we've made, is very clear about that, and the plan that we have proposed, Speaker, and have implemented clearly recognizes that balance. I am somewhat concerned about the position of the NDP because the opposition seems to be.
Thank you.